In the future, we'll just have it so it's just not gonna start off that way. So everything's live.
Maybe on a timer.
It can't be set on an automatic timer, unfortunately. That would be easy, but we have it now set, and I'm just double checking our Facebook feed. It is live, and we're here. Okay, so how was everyone's week? Anything special happen? Anything exciting? Holiday?
Yeah.
Series of holidays? Yeah.
Well.
Anyone do anything special or exciting for it?
Yeah, I got
didn't
a.
eat.
You didn't eat?
I got a.
You didn't eat?
I got a 23.5 on my math test with, the average was an 80.
All right. Okay. Well,
I got a 93.
you got a 93. Okay, that's clarifying. I thought you were saying a 23%, and I was a little bit like, you're showing this off. Why? I'm not exactly following. Okay, very good. All right, we're going to start our service now. We're going to start our service on page 6 of our Siddurim. Page 6 of our Siddurim with Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei El Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boechem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei El Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei El Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seitchem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei El Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Now we have been blowing our shofar in the month of the Elul. Even though Yom Kippur has passed, I'm going to blow our shofar today just once again because we're in a festive season that will be continuing with Simchas Torah soon, and as well we have Sukkot coming up. And during these holidays, it is common and it is customary to still blow the shofar on those occasions. So I'll be blowing the shofar again today to once again remind us, not this time of the teshuvah. Teshuvah is something that we're capable of all year round. We are still capable of teshuvah at this time, even though the gates have closed from this year already with Yom Kippur. But even though the gates have closed from Yom Kippur this year, we still are capable of teshuvah, and it is still to remind us that we're in a new season that is upon us for new opportunities. Tikiyah Gedulah. Three of them now. Tikiyah. Tikiyah Gedulah. Okay. Alright, I'd like to invite up, Laurie, would you like to be able to light our Shabbos candles for today?
Of course.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Page 7.
If I have the Siddur.
Yeah. Will the Dance Mishlocha like to join? David, you sure? Okay.
So. Uh-oh, me with a match. Not so good.
Oh. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
We had a high-powered flamethrower, it looked like, for a while there, and Robin hit it, I think, or someone hit it. I'm not sure. It was a safety issue, I think.
I got it.
Oh no.
Oh,
Are you
I
good?
no, I can light it.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Can I light it? Can I light it?
No, I'm lighting it, baby. I'm afraid you might burn the place down.
Nice touch.
Okay. Great. let us welcome Shabbat.
May its
May its radiance illuminate our hearts.
Light is the symbol of the divine.
The eternal is my life and my salvation.
Light is the symbol of the divine within us.
The human spirit is the light of the eternal.
Light is the symbol of the divine law.
For the mitzvah is a lamp and the Torah a light.
Light is the symbol of Israel's mission.
I, the eternal, have made you a covenant people, a light to the nations.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Amen.
May the Eternal bless us with Shabbat joy.
Amen.
May the Eternal bless us with Shabbat peace.
Amen.
May the Eternal bless us with Shabbat holiness.
Amen.
Thank you.
Shleach. Thank you. Continue now with Lechai Doidi, page 9 of our Siddurim with Lechai Doidi. Lechai Doidi likrat kala yadada 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela ha ha. Lechai Doidi likrat kala yadada 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela ha ha. Shamor b'zachor b'dibor echad Hishnianu el hanuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad Lishem ul tiferet b'lit tehila Lechai doidi likrat kala yadada 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 b'nei Shabbat Nekabela Lechai doidi likrat kala yadada 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 b'nei Shabbat Nekabela Likrat Shabbat Lehu Benelcha Kihi Mekor HaBracha Merosh Mekadem Nesuka Sof Ma'aseh B'Maksha Tehila Lechai Doidi Likrat Kala Yadada 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 B'nei Shabbat Nekabela Lechai doidi likrat kala yadada 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 b'nei Shabbat Nekabela Hi ori Kiva orech Kumi ori Shir daberi Kavod Adonai alai negila Lechai doidi likrat kala yadada 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 b'nei Shabbat Nekabela Lechai doidi likrat kala yadada 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 b'nei Shabbat Nekabela. Now we rise. We now rise for the final version when we face the entrance or exit of our building. The final stanza we'll be joining together for. Boi v'shalom aseret bala Gam b'simcha u'v'tzola Toch emune am sigula Boi kala Lechai doidi likrat kala Yadada 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 b'nei Shabbat Nekabela Lechai doidi likrat kala Yadada 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 b'nei Shabbat Nekabela. We remain standing. The Hatzi Kaddish on page 11. Yitkata v'yitkata Shamei Rabba B'almati rachidu tevim lich malchutei B'chayechon u'v'yoymechon u'v'chayedecho Beit Yisrael Ba'agala u'bizman karib B'yameru Amen Yahei Shmei Rabba mevorach Le'olam ol me'almaya Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitrama V'yitnaseh V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shamei D'Kudashah B'rechu Le'ela Mikol Birchata V'shirata Tushbechata V'nechemata Damiran V'alma V'yameru Amen. We remain standing on page 12 for the Baruch Hu. David, would you like to come up here and join me? I promised if you join us today you could lead us in one thing, and would you like to lead us in Baruch Hu?
No.
Okay. Do you know the melody?
Yeah?
Okay. It's no.
Oh, sorry.
That is correct. That's where the mic is. Okay. Now you can speak into the mic right here.
Baruch hu et Adonai. Oh, what is it?
Baruch hu et Adonai.
Baruch
Baruch hu
hu
et
et Adonai Hamivorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamivorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai Hamivorach le'olam
Lam va'ed.
Shkoyach. Would you like to stand up here and continue for the next section or no?
Yeah?
Okay, would you like to read this or
I'll read it. Eternal God, your majesty is proclaimed by the marvels of earth and sky. Sun, moon, and stars testify to your power and wisdom. Night follows day and endless success, and the years vanish, but your sovereignty endures. Though all things pass, let not your glory depart from us. Help us to become co-workers with you and endow our fleeting days with abiding worth. Baruch atah Adonai ha-mavarim. Blessed are you, O Eternal, who brings on the evening.
Yeah, good job.
Thanks.
Yes, everyone sees you. Good job. They see you. Very good. Very good, David. All right, we continue with the Shema on page 14. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. You may be seated. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha ub'chol nafshecha ub'chol meodecha v'hayu hadavarim ha'ele asher nochi misavecha hayom al bavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'beitecha uv'letecha v'aderech Ushachbecha uvkomecha ukshartam leot al yadecha vehayu letotafot bein einecha uktavtam al mezuzot veitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru vasitem ekol mizotai vehitem kiroshim lelolechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher Hotzeiti Etchem Me'eretz Mitzrayim V'yot Lachem Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem Emet. Now continue on page 17 with the responsive reading in English. Eternal truth is that you alone are God, and there is none else.
May the righteous of all nations rejoice in your love and exalt in your justice.
Let them beat their swords into plowshares.
Let them beat their spears into pruning hooks.
Let nation now lift up sword against nation, let them study war no more.
You shall not hate another in your heart, you shall love your neighbor as yourself.
Let the stranger be in your midst as you to the native, for you were once strangers in the land of Egypt.
From the house of bondage we were forced to freedom, so let all be free to sing with joy.
Continue on page 18 with Mi Chamocha. Mi Chamocha va'alim Adonai, Mi Chamocha nedar b'kodesh, Nora tehilot osei fele. Malchutecha ra'uvanecha bokeyam lifnei Moshe Ze Eli anu v'amru Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed V'ne'emar ki farad Adonai et Yaakov V'lo mi'ad hazak mimenu Baruch aita Adonai Va'al Yisrael. We continue now on page 19 with the translation for Hashkivenu. Cause us, O Eternal our God, to lie down in peace, and to awaken us each morning to life renewed with strength. Spread over us the holy shelter of your peace. Together,
Help us to order our lives by your counsel, and lead us in the paths of righteousness. Be a shield about us, protecting us from hate and war, pestilence and sorrow.
curb also within us the inclination to do evil, and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Guard our going out and our coming into life. with peace from this time forth forever.
Blessed are you, O Eternal, whose holy shelter of peace is spread over us, over all God's people, Israel, and over Jerusalem.
Continue now on page 20 with Vishamru. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasod et ha-Shabbat ledoretam berit olam Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasod et ha-Shabbat ledoretam berit olam B'nei Yisrael oti le'olam Oti le'olam, oti le'olam, Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, Lasod et ha-Shabbat ledoretam berit olam, Ki she'et yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim v'et ha'aretz v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasod et ha-Shabbat ledoretam berit olam Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash Shabbat vayinafash Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasod et ha-Shabbat ledoretam berit olam. We now rise for the Amidah prayer for Tefillah on page 21, for Tefillah, beginning on page 21. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufiya b'tehilatecha Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon Gomel Hasadim Toivim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Hasdeavot V'imachot, Umevi Geula Lifnei V'nehem Leman Shemo B'Yahava Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Abraham Ve'ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechayei HaKol Atah Rav Le'Hoshia Morid Hatzal Mechalkel Hayim Bechesed Mechayei HaKol Berachamim Rabim Somech Noflim V'Rofei Holim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Michamocha Ba'al Givurot Umido Melach Melech Memid Umechayei Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'emanata L'hahayot HaKol Baruch atah Adonai Mechayei HaKol Atah Kadosh Hashem HaKadosh U'Koshim B'chol Yom Yehalelucha Selah Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. You are holy, and your name is holy, and the holy ones praise you every day forever. Blessed are you, O Eternal, the holy God. Daven silently, and afterwards we'll join together for Oseh Shalom on page 29. now join together for Oseh Shalom on page 29. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru imru amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'yemeru, amen. All right, good Shabbos, everyone. It's great to get back to some of the routine from prior to the high holidays, and it's great seeing everyone here today. Our regular crowd, I'm calling. So our Torah reading today is Hazinu, and it's from Deuteronomy 32. And Hazinu is a powerful reading. It is the epic closing words of Moshe Rabbeinu, of Moses, to the people of Israel. Hazinu means listen in, and the reading of the words are said to have been delivered by Moses in his final day of life. The words are poetic, and our sages teach that they are so significant that they are only of 10 songs that exist within our Torah. So Hazinu is not only poetic, but it is also prophetic, and Moses' final words are an ominous warning regarding the people of Israel for the next several hundred years. Moshe's message is, yes, we have reached the promised land, but we're not totally out of the woods just yet. At the beginning of Deuteronomy chapter 32 in Hazinu, Moshe says that God guided the people of Israel through the wilderness of Egypt and cared for them and kept them as the apple of God's eye. Verse 17 then foretells what is to come by saying that once in the land the people would turn away from God. They would sacrifice unto demons and new gods. And as a result of this sacrilege, God will hide God's face in an act known as Chester Panim from the people of Israel, that is to say, in shyness, God's shyness of his face. And a generation will inherit faithfulness as a result. God will then heap evil upon the generations that follow, and horrible things will befall them. So there's a lot going on in those verses. There's prophecy, poetry, and song. And in addition, theological concepts appear to be inserted into this text. One theological concept that finds its way into verse 20 is that statement, Chester Panim, the shyness of God's face. In the face of Sinat Hinam, that is baseless hatred, God's face becomes absent, and the shyness of God's face has been used to describe multiple calamities of our history. Two leading Jewish theologians from the period of the Shoah, of the Holocaust, Rabbi Kalman Shapira and Zelig Kalmanovich, used this concept to understand the catastrophe that befell the Jews of Europe in the 1940s. Both Rabbi Shapira and Zelig Kalmanovich preached on the subject of Chester Panim from their pulpits inside of the Warsaw Ghetto during the 1940s. For Rabbi Kalman Shapira, the author of Eish Kodesh, he believed God's desire to mourn the catastrophe in private caused God to retreat during the Second World War. And according to Rabbi Shapira, there is a concept of a human-divine partnership to suffering. God's presence or even absence in the face of catastrophes that may befall us was limited to the following reason. God had a desire to mourn in privacy from a catastrophe. As Rabbi Shapira understood this, the Second World War, God was the object of the attack by the Nazis because of God's association with the Jewish people. We all suffered. Zelig Kalmanovich took a similar approach. Not only did God retreat during the Second World War, but God's absence was the result of an attack upon a sacred triad, that is, the Torah, Israel, and God by the Nazis. According to Kalmanovich, as he preached in the Warsaw Ghetto in 1939, we will not be destroyed so long as Jews affirm their place in this sacred triad, even though the Nazis may be capable of destroying one arm of the triad, our bodies. They would never prevail against moral law or the creator of the universe. Both Kalmanovich and Shapira suggested Hester Panim as a theological explanation of how a catastrophe like the Shoah could happen. But I struggle with this. How does a just and compassionate God simply stand idle and watch people as they suffer? Holocaust theology may better elucidate the concept of Hester Panim, but the theology is difficult to connect to for many. Wars can be prevented, genocides can be prevented, and murder can also be prevented. But such tasks require our work to prevent. We can't play an inactive role in this holy duty. It's our sacred duty to side with people and organizations that work to protect human rights and victims while being a voice for peace. In working with congregants and ourselves, we must not lose faith in the goodness of humanity, and we must always strive for a better tomorrow. Deep theological explanations that address Hester Panim as described in this week's Torah portion doesn't simply cut it for me. We need to play an active role in this world, and the message of Hester Panim should read, we can control our own future if we listen in, as we're called upon with Hazinu, which means in Hebrew, listen in. But the concept of Hester Panim and Sinat Hinam are not isolated theological themes that appear in this week's Torah portion. Not only do these theological concepts appear inserted into Chazina, but the very language itself seems very different from the rest of our Torah in Deuteronomy. Rabbi Sabbath Beit Halachmi, she was a classmate of Rabbi Levi actually, and while he was in rabbinical seminary, she picks up on this nuance in one of her drashot that she shared with me when we studied together in Cincinnati. And in her drash, Rabbi Sabbath Beit Halachmi wrote that as in much of Deuteronomy, God has been portrayed as a mighty redeemer, the supreme warrior that has led Israel into battle, and the one who reveals Torah with thundering skies and threats of conditional covenant. But Rabbi Sabbath continues, in Hazino, God is depicted as the rock, the source of justice, and any imperfections or problems in the world are because of human imperfections and human error, not because of God. I'd like to explore that concept a little bit further here. She highlights here any perfections, imperfections, or problems in this world are because of human imperfection or human error. These words really underscore the responsibility of ourselves, and Hazinu is about this message. Yes, we have reached the promised land with this week's Torah portion, but we're not totally out of the woods. We cannot leave the rest of the journey up to God. We may be here in New Jersey. I'm going to call it the Jerusalem of America, or wherever we may find ourselves, but idolatry still blinds us, Sinat Hinam still ravages us, and catastrophe will still cause us to suffer. The message of Moshe Rabbeinu remains relevant today, and it is, just as we're called upon in antiquity to Hazinu, to listen in, we must today. The act of listening calls upon us to act, not to play an inactive role in our creation of our world, and we can control our own futures if we listen in as we're called upon to with this week's Torah portion in Hazinu. Can you hear that sound? May it be God's will. Amen. So in just a moment we'll be rising for the Mishberak prayer. The Mishberak prayer may be found in the back of our Siddurim. Very back of our Siddurim is the Mishberak prayer. I have our Mishberak list after the names have been read aloud. If there's any additional names anyone would like to have added to the list, please include those names so that we as one community may pray for the healing of mind, body, and or of spirit of your loved one. Our Mishberak list for today includes the following names: Evan Mitchell Wadika, Yitzhak Ben Miriam, Tzvia Bat Margalit, Alice Souza, Suzanne Wadika, Ruth Dowse, Jerry Dowse, Vicky Hyatt, Bill Natras, Bruce Fleshig, Miriam Mendel Ben Shira, Nachman Ben Malka, Shlomo Levitt Ben Malka, Alan Lewis, Ellen Yokelson, Jerry Yokelson, Russ Pineri, Jeffrey Stein, Jeffrey Koffler, Aaron Evers, Claudia Schachter, Courtney Zavidik, Asher Ephraim, Linda Bloom, Elaine Blitz, Linda Wilson, Rhoda Jacobs, Becky Bunnell, Linda Gotep, Sylvia Stern, Myra Levis, Eve Schneider, Benjamin Moishe Ben Devora, Dr. Sharon Anita Wander. Are there any additional names anyone would like to have added to the list? Yes.
Marcia Ponce.
Marcia Potts. Any other names? No? Okay. Please rise as we will be reciting the Mishberak prayer found at the very back of our Siddurim. Misheberak Avoteinu Mekor Habrecha Le'imotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberak imotenu mekor habrecha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah sholema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. You may be seated. Would you like to give the announcements now or after Kaddish? We normally give it after Kaddish. But
Yeah, after Kaddish.
okay, we'll do it after Kaddish. So we're going to rise again with the Aleinu prayer on page 30. Aleinu is on page 30. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol la'teit gedula liyotzeh breshit shelo atzanu ki aratzot velo samanu ki mishpachot adama shelo sam chalkinu kachem v'gor aleinu kichol hamonam v'inachnu korim ומשתחווים ומויטים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל ושכינתו זו בגובהי מרומים הוא אלוהינו אין עוד Emet Malkeinu Epizulato Kakatu Betorato Liadata Hayom Behoshevota El Avecha Ki Adonai Hu Elohim Bashamayim Mima'al V'yal ha'aretz mitachad ein od. We therefore hope in you, O eternal our God, soon to behold the splendor of your might. Then will false gods vanish from the earth, and the idols will be utterly cut off, to heal the world through the sovereignty of the Almighty. Then will all acclaim you as their God, and forsaking evil, turn to you alone. Let all who dwell on earth acknowledge that unto you every knee must bend, and every tongue swear loyalty. Before you, O eternal our God, let them humble themselves. To your gracious name let them give honor. Let all accept the yoke of your dominion, that you may rule over them soon and forever. For the dominion is yours, and you will rule in glory, as it is written, the eternal will reign forever and ever. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz. Vayom hahu yiyeh Adonai echad. U'shemo echad. You may be seated. In just a moment, I'll be reciting the names from our Yortzeit list as well as our recent passings. Must have fallen underneath the stand. After the names of our recent passing as well as our yurtzeit list has been read aloud, if you are observing a yurtzeit for anyone or in the period of shoshim for anyone, please share with us the name of your loved one so that we as one community may pray for their elevation of their soul to Shemayim. Our yurtzeit list for today includes the following names: Marjorie Belzer, Ruth Fehrenbach, Miriam Feingold, Isidore Lerner, Jean Busker, Abraham Schachman, Philip Axelrod, Harold Rosinowitz, Lorraine Gisberg, Diane Kasten, Eva Hauser, Jacob Solomon, Gabriel Appelman, David Hutter, Clara Appelman, Herbert Friedman, Elizabeth Boda, Max Jacobs, Pearl Hutter, Linda Bloom, Mary Kaufman, Rose Hutter, Irving Yokelson, Mindy Mann, and Clara Rothman. Our recent passings include the following names: Judith Allen Schuler, Philip Ballstein, Stanley Taub, Steve Goldblum, Jacob George Tobel, Peter Lizama, Stan Perlman, David Schneider, Raphael Marcus, Florence Schneider, Sylvia Tannenbaum, Florence Bellmacher. Are there any additional names anyone is observing at yurtzeit for or in the period of Shoshim of?
Amanda Newman, Ben Rodriguez, Fred Kellogg, Judy Merman, McDonald Smith, and Larry Bershad.
Okay. Are there any additional names anyone is observing a yurtzeit for in the period of Shoshim of? Okay. If it is your custom, please rise on page 33 for the Mourner's Kaddish. Page 33 is the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah V'alma divra tirutei v'yemlich malchutei V'chayechon u'yomechon u'chayei dechol beis Yisrael Ba'agela u'izman kariv v'imru amen Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mebarak L'olam olamei almaya Yisbarach v'yishtabach v'yitfa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnasei V'yisadar v'yisaleh v'yisalal Shemei Kudusha B'reichu Le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nechamata Namiram v'yalma v'imru amen Yehei Shlama Rabba min Shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen Oseh shalom bin Ramav Hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort all who are bereaved, and let us say, Amen. Amen. You may be seated. All right, announcements now.
Gotcha.
Do apologize, I was using very Ashkenazi pronunciation for the Mourner's Kaddish. I could hear from over here our very Ashkenazi pronunciations as well, so that entered into my eardrum and I was replicating, so go ahead.
Sure. Hi all. If there were any errors in this, blame it on my wife. Okay. Saturday, October 8th, Shabbat worship, and it's also the student Shabbat. It's virtual and in person.
And my birthday. And
Oh.
my birthday, yes, and my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. Torah study is at 9:30. Shabbat worship then is at 10:30 a.m. tomorrow. Now volunteers are needed to set up the sukkah Sunday, October 9th at 8 a.m. So if any of you are around, I'll be in Pennsylvania, but if any of you are around here, please do so. Please volunteer. Sukkot under the stars, Friday, October 14th at 6:30 p.m. Kiddush to follow in the sukkah. Dinner and camp out. They do ask you to register for dinner. On the weekly email, you'll find information. Now, the next morning, Rabbi Poland's installation service, Saturday, October 15th, 10 a.m. Are you ready?
I'm ready, I'm excited, this is gonna be a blast.
Okay, no charge, but you need to RSVP for the Kiddush. Interfaith Women's Symposium, topic, Who is God? From viewpoints of different religions, will be Sunday, October 23rd at 3 p.m. More information. The Rutgers Jewish Film Festival is going to be held October 30th to November 13th It's both in-person and virtual, and more information will be on the weekly email where you can access this. So it's the Rutgers Jewish Film Festival. Sisterhood, Tuesday, October 11th. Now we're back to this coming week. At 6:30, and the Social Action Committee will be October 12th. Shemini Atzeres, October 17th in the morning, and Simchat Torah, October 17th in the evening. Now, the blessing of animals and student Shabbat is going to be held on October 29th. So if any of you have animals or students, please be here October 29th.
Or the same. They're the same.
Yeah, they're the same.
Basically.
Gotcha. All right. Veteran Shabbat is November 4th. The Blood Drive, November 6th. If you come early, you can see me. And Bar Mitzvah of David Brown is November 12th.
Got the date too. Got the date right now.
And we'll see you all there. That's it. I will leave this
Okay, thank you.
tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, very excited. Very excited. Once again, Camp House is going to be a blast. Avi's coming as well, and there's going to be music on the night too. It's going to have very much like a camping vibe. So anyone who's interested, it's a lot of fun, and we may be able to cook outside as well. So it'll be fun. All right, so we're going to conclude our service with the Adon Olam on page 34 of our Siddurim, page 34 of our Siddurim. And then afterwards, we're going to meet for Kiddush and Motzi. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Li'et Nasa B'chezo Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra B'yacharei Kichlot HaKol Levado Yimloich Noira Behu Haya Behu Hoveh Behu Yeh B'tifara Behu Echad V'en Sheni Lechamshi Lo Lehachvira V'li Reishi V'li Tachlit V'lo Ha'oz V'hamizra Behu Eli V'chai Goali V'tzor Heli V'yetzara Ve'u nisi umanosli menat kosi beyom ekra b'ya'ado afkid ruchi v'yet ishan v'ya'ira v'im ruchi geviati Adonai li ve'lo ira. Good Shabbos, everyone. Good Shabbos, Shabbat Shalom. Do we have any volunteers? Anyone who would like to do Kiddush or the
I'll do
Motzi?
it.
Okay, David, which one do you want to do?
How about, I'll do the, which one has which one did I do last time?
I think you did the wine last time.
I'll
right?
do that.
Okay,
Okay.
you want to do the wine?